So, what is Cortex? Cortex is the name of the AI chat interface on IIMAGINE. How is Cortex different from other AIs like ChatGPT? Our mission is to build the best personalized AI in the world. Other AIs simply store chat history and raw data, so they're what we call generic responders. Cortex has a sense of time, priority, and relationships in addition to raw data, so it can provide effective advice, as opposed to mere responses, for your day-to-day personal and work life, all based on your unique circumstances and requirements. The more you use it, the more useful and personalized it becomes. You might be thinking, can I get the same results by just giving ChatGPT all of the same information? No. The data you enter into various tools on the platform, combined with your chat history, will become a massive data set in a short time, and this is the result. Context window limits will restrict the amount of data that can be reviewed in order to generate a response. Even if the context window is expanded, it still won't solve the problem because it will be too expensive to use. For example, GPT 5.1 Mini costs $2 per million tokens of output. So, if you use a 1 million token context window to answer a question, it will cost you $2 per question. That's obviously not going to work for anyone. The large amount of data in a large context window also introduces a lot of noise, which lowers the quality of the response and increases the time to respond. Therefore, data must be saved, interpreted, retrieved, and synthesized algorithmically in order to optimize for the time, cost, accuracy, and relevance of the response. And this is where everything gets very hard. We believe IIMAGINE is the only AI platform that has solved this problem. So, how does it work? We invented some important new technology, Unified Context Protocol, an algorithm that automatically organizes and updates your data. Unified Context Matrix, a multidimensional interpretation of your data. Unified Context Synthesis, a response synthesis algorithm that constructs responses in a way that maximizes relevance and minimizes token budget, latency, and context window overload. Scoped, a framework for building more advanced context about user objectives. The elements of the scoped framework are status, where you are now. Challenges, what makes it harder to achieve? For example, a lack of time or budget restrictions. Activatives, what you want to achieve. Priority, how important is it? Enablers are things that make it easier to achieve. For example, skills or access to tools. Deadline, when you want it done. Enough talking. Let's try it out. There's nothing to learn. When you sign up to IIMAGINE, go to Cortex and say, "Hi." It doesn't know anything about you, so it will say, "Hi," ask you your name, and if there's something you want to work on. If you have something to work on, it will ask some optional questions that will help Cortex build more context about your unique objectives. You can talk about anything in your work or personal life. For this example, let's say, "My name is Maya. I'm a marketing manager. I want to start and build a business while working my full-time job, then quit my job when the business can support me. I also want to lower my 5K time from 22 minutes to 20 minutes. I'll go ahead and answer these follow-up questions from Cortex. Now that I'm done, Cortex has saved my objectives to memory, and if I go to the My Life section, I can see that Cortex has also created some modules for my objectives. These modules use the scoped framework I mentioned earlier. You can think of the My Life section as a place to create and manage goals for your work and personal life. Cortex will learn about you and your goals by chatting with it, so you don't have to do anything in this My Life section, but it does keep everything more organized. You can watch a separate video about how to use the My Life section for more detail about how they work. Cortex can also take actions. It can read, create, and update Google Docs, Sheets, Calendar, and Gmail. It can create agents and neurons on IIMAGINE. It can read, create, and update content on your IIMAGINE website. If you want Cortex to take actions with Google products, go to Settings and click Connection, and click these buttons to connect your Google accounts. Then you can provide instructions like, find the Google Doc called Products, read the product information inside the doc, and extract the product names and pricing information. Create a new Google Sheet called Pricing Summary and enter the product names and pricing information. Or create a new item in my calendar for Meeting with Dan from ABC on December 22nd at 2 p.m. Set aside 1 hour for the meeting. You can also tell Cortex to take actions on the IIMAGINE platform. For example, create an agent that will summarize transcripts of my meetings and extract actions I need to take with deadlines. Now I can go to Agents and click Use Agents to use it. Check out the video about agents for more detail about how they work. Another way to take actions is with slash commands. It works the same way as using natural language, but it removes ambiguity and makes it easier for Cortex to know exactly what you want. Cortex also alerts you when something requires your attention. IIMAGINE has a daily briefing feature that can be set to daily, weekly, or monthly. It reviews new data and provides a summary of what happened, along with suggested actions based on your objectives and priorities. You can also chat with data. If you have a small amount of data and you only plan to work with it once, just enter it into the chat and ask questions about it. If you have a larger data set and you plan to work with the data many times, you should put the data into a neuron. A neuron is just a knowledge base on IIMAGINE. Go to Neurons in the main menu, click Create, give it a title, copy and paste your data into the content box, or upload a file and save. Now, when you go to Cortex, you will see the file you just created in the drop-down menu under Cortex. When you select it and ask questions, Cortex will know that your questions relate to the data in the selected neuron. If we go back to Neurons, you will see that you also have the option to make the data in this neuron available to Cortex. If you select this option, the data will be added to your permanent work and personal data, and you will not need to select the neuron from the drop-down menu under Cortex to ask questions about the data. The decision to use this feature depends on how important the data is for you. For example, if you want to lose weight and want to review your exercise data, you should make it available to Cortex. But if you're just reviewing training plans of Olympians out of curiosity, you should not make them available to Cortex. Check your subscription or the user guides for the latest usage limits. Finally, you can control Cortex's persona. There are 2 default personas, Executive Assistant, or AI CEO, and Friend. You can give them names, upload profile images, and modify their personalities and response styles. There are also numerous templates for other personas, including AI boyfriends and girlfriends. I'll talk about AI boyfriends and girlfriends in more detail in another video, but you can probably see the big advantage IIMAGINE has here. Relationships are more than just a personality. Relationships feel real when a person, or AI, knows you well. As for getting started, there's nothing to learn. Sign up for free, go to Cortex, and introduce yourself. It will ask a couple questions. Then your personalized AI experience will evolve and become more powerful as you interact with it over time. What does it cost? You can start with a free plan and upgrade to a paid plan if you become a heavy user.